number one, you feel stuck or unhappy in a situation, and yet you avoid creating positive change. You stay in a failing I did ad-lib a little bit on this. You stay in a failing relationship with your broker, despite wanting to leave. You have extreme anxiety over what's going to happen to your home equity. You reject invitations to family events, celebrations, friends' homes, or even EXP events. You frequently feel nauseous or have indigestion when you think about a possible recession. You experience heart palpitations when you think about listings not selling in one day. You find yourself shaking and sweating at the thought of 6% interest rates. Actually, I created this before they were 6%, so. You check inventory levels and days on market more than 5 times a day, just to be sure. All right, so these are actually real statements from a psychologist, right, about the fear of change. I just added a little bit of real estate humor to them, okay? But this is really what people go through. This is what happens when change is out there, when people fear change. So why do we fear change? What is it about change that's scary? Uncertainty. Unknown, right? Good. What else? Fear of loss. Yep. What's that? Stability. Yep. Not their idea, right? They don't have control over it. Unprepared. Pain. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Embarrassment, fear of failure, okay. Rejection. Got a lot of good answers from this group right here. They're really smart. All the smart people sat in this section. The pretty people sat over here. That was Jared's line. All right. Not Jared, that was Jay. All right, so people have all kinds of reasons why they fear change. So let's talk about how we respond to change, right? How do we get past it? And you can use this for yourself. You can use this for your clients. You can use this for the agents you're talking to. All right, but these are the proven methods. The first one, every time, everything that I've studied on the fear of change, one of the steps that has been given is to face your fear. You gotta name it. You gotta name it to face it. Change, most people don't actually fear change. They fear the consequence of change, right? It's not change itself. It's the consequence. And all of those things that you guys just mentioned, that's what people fear. But you have to identify, what is it about the change that you're scared about first? And this is a great exercise when you talk to someone and they go, have you ever walked through someone, the entire process and shared, you talk to them about their needs. You talk to them about where they are in their business. You look at their splits and their structure and everything else and where they're trying to go. I've got your goals. We did a needs analysis. I showed you what EXP can do for you. And they're like, yeah, I got to think about it. Right? I mean, I've had people who I said, you're going to save $150,000 a year in commissions. You're going to keep an extra $150,000 a year in your pocket. And like, yeah, I'll get back to you. Right? What? Change your logo and you're going to make another $150K. You got to think about it. Okay? What is it that they fear? This is something when people are fearful of making that change and they need to think about it and think about it. Stop. Find out what they're fearing. Help them put a name to their fear. Once you put it in a box, it's easier to deal with. The second one is don't fool yourself. We all have self-talk. We all have doubts. We all have things we tell ourselves. Anybody here a procrastinator? All right? Anybody here a world-class procrastinator? Right? Like really good at it? We have the stuff we tell ourselves. It's not that we don't want the outcome, but we lie to ourselves and then we believe ourselves. I'm gonna do it later. I'm just gonna wait until this. Right? We have all the things that we tell ourselves. And we have patterns. We have patterns. So if you listen, don't listen to the negative talk or the bad talk. Stand outside and observe yourself when these things happen. Observe someone you're talking to. See what they say and what they're doing. And then find out, help them see that this is a pattern and it's not serving them, it's not getting them. Hey, have you ever been in another situation where you were considering a change and you told yourself the same thing? Do you think it's likely that it's true both times? Right? It's probably not. It may just be the thing you tell yourself. To give yourself permission not to change. Help them discover that. Number 3, turn off the negativity channel. There are people out there that benefit on making you scared. It's pretty Yeah, exactly. Click, turn it off. Turn it off. And do you know any brokers from other companies that talk about either A, how horrible EXP is, right? Or how hard it is to change companies and how much it's gonna hurt their business? Okay, there are other people who profit from other people's fear, right? People tune into the news because they, I always ask, why don't they give all the happy stuff? Why don't they have like puppies on the news and all the good stuff that's going on? It doesn't sell. It doesn't rivet people to the TV, right? If they give all the good stuff. They go, oh, everything's good. I don't really need to watch this. So they have to make you fearful, so you sit there and then they drag it out for 3 hours, the same story without telling you anything, right? But they need you to be worried. They need you to be worried. And so other companies need their agents to be worried. What are they hearing that may not be true? Okay? Help them turn off the negativity channel, and for yourself, turn off the negativity channel. You gotta be believing in yourself. All right, anybody really want to take advantage of revenue share, but afraid to really dive in, to take that step? Thank you for being honest, right? Okay, you are not alone. I'm telling you, I hear that from people all the time. I don't know what to do. I'm not quite sure what to do. What if I fail? What if I look dumb? What if people don't like me? What if, what? Nobody wants to be the person at the party when you walk in that everyone turns around like this and doesn't want to talk to them, right? Okay, right, exactly. Let me talk to you about your car warranty. Okay, so, no, but people tell themselves that's what's gonna happen. And Chuck, I heard Chuck said it, he said it so well, right? We have the opportunity to help people. You're giving them a lifeline. You're helping them live a better life. Right? You have to change that talk inside your head, that people need to hear from you. They need to hear from you. All right, oh, and distance yourself from negative people, right? You've heard that you're like the 5 people that you spend the most time with, right? Everybody's heard that? Now, a lot of times you think about that financially, like who's most successful and everything else. Think about who you hang out with from a mindset standpoint. Who are the 5 people you surround yourself that make you think differently? I'll butcher it if I try to say it, but there's a saying about, to surround yourself with the people who, pour fire on your passions, not water, right? And they see you as smart and capable and amazing. Those are the people you want to hang out with, because if those people all see you that way, you'll see yourself that way. If they're all thinking positive and they're all seeing there's opportunity, you're gonna see opportunity. You're gonna think positively. Okay, surround yourself with them. And, little gut check here, make sure you're not the one that they don't want in their circle, right? You're responsible for what you bring to the environment, into your circle. Be someone that they want in their circle. All right, number 4. Dream big. Dream big, and I mean it, right? Everyone's like, yeah, dream big, yeah, I really would like this. I want you to think about what it could be like on the other side. We love our boy Brent Gove. Anybody want Brent Gove money from revenue share? Right? Okay, well, I love Brent, but he's not a superhuman. He's an amazing guy. But everyone can do it. But I know, talking with Gene, I talked with Gene in the early days. And when I talked with Gene, every time I talked with Gene, he was getting ready to get on an airplane, getting off of an airplane, in the car, back and forth, getting ready to go into a presentation. That man flew all over the United States for years, presenting, sharing the story, on Zooms, on phone calls, on his phone. You'd hang out with him, you couldn't hang out with you. We're like, what, I gotta do this quick Zoom? Right, I gotta do a quick call. And he did it until he got the results. He worked hard at it. He went and did it, because he had a big dream. You guys can do it, okay, but you have to feel it. So I've got dogs. I've got some big dogs. We got about an acre of land, but behind us is a bunch of land, and it's beautiful. We've got fox, deer, like all the different kind of animals out there. I can sit out on my back deck and watch like 20 deer up on the hill. So can my dogs. Right? So they're on an electric fence, and they go, I open the door, they're barking in the house and everything else, and I open the door, and they tear off down the deck, down the stairs, down the other landing, and into the yard, and down the hill. And they're tearing after it. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna go get them. They're gonna go get them. And then, they stop. Right? And then they bark at the deer from right here. And the deer keep eating because they're like, yeah, we've seen this before. Right? We know you can't come get us. They're not worried. But my dogs look committed. They look committed. They tell me they're committed. They bark really loud. And they're so excited and they're gonna go do it. I'm really gonna go do it. Have you guys watched the Art Williams Just Do It speech? If you haven't, Google it and watch it. Like, I'm really gonna do it this time. I'm gonna go get those deer. And then they come down, they go, right? But every once in a while, as they're going down, I know it's about to happen. Because you know what happens? Their ears tuck back. Tuck their ears back and they tilt their head down and they go right through. They know they're about to get zapped. They know it's about to hurt. But they also know it's only gonna hurt for a minute. And there's freedom on the other side of that line, baby. They're gonna go get it. They're gonna go and then they go up the hill and a couple acres down there into the woods. And then I gotta go put my shoes on and go chase them. All right, but they know. We know that there's pain at a certain point. We get all excited, we get all enthusiastic, but our dream's not big enough. Whatever's on the other side of the electric fence for us that we're scared of, we're not picturing that in a point that it's visceral for us, that our emotions are bought into it, that we want it so bad. You don't want it big enough. If you're not willing to go through the electric fence, a momentary spot of pain, right, which could be anything, could be embarrassment, it could be whatever, you could fail, probably will fail a few times, right? But if you're not willing to go through that, then you're just barking, right? You're just barking. So you gotta dream big. You gotta dream big to make it worth it. But by the same token, this may sound counterintuitive, you have to think small, all right? And what I mean by that is, you have to break it down into bite-sized pieces. If you have this huge dream, that's really great, but then a lot of times we have this huge dream and we don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. What should I do next? What's the first thing I should do? And you see people, like I saw Al Stasic in here somewhere. These guys have a huge organization. They got a huge coaching company. They got all this great stuff. I have people brand new, like I've been in real estate for 2 years. Last year I sold 5 million. And I'm gonna start a coaching company so that I can recruit like them, right? I think that's what I'm gonna do, because apparently I have to have a coaching company. And then they're gonna spend all their time trying to build a coaching company. And I haven't gotten one agent yet, it's been 6 months. Okay, so you have to think small. You have to think small. Break it down into pieces that you can move on. All right, oh, jeez. All right. The rest of it's really good. You guys will love it. All right. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. Yo.
Everything's running late in general session, so you can keep going.
Woohoo! Yeah. Love it. All right. We're good. Saved by the bell. You guys are stuck with me for more time. All right. Next one. Find the brave ones. When you're feeling fearful, if you surround yourself with people that are brave, they'll lift you up. They'll pull you forward, right? When you're running with them and you're all running, you might start to get scared, but they're still running. You keep running with them. And you know what they say about when you're brave? Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you are afraid. You can't be brave without fear, okay? It means you feel the fear and you do it anyway. That's when you're brave, right? Our first responders, our military, right? They go in when other people are running out. They run towards danger to help people. Okay? They are afraid. I've talked to my family, they're all military. They tell me all the time, they're totally afraid. All right? But they do it anyway. They do it anyway. Right? Home of the brave. All right. So find the brave. Find the people that are running towards. Because what will happen is they will give you some of their bravery. They'll give you some of their hope. Right? And then there'll be other times when they're feeling down and you're feeling good and you're gonna give it back to them. Right? That's like going underwater with the one scuba tank and passing it the air back and forth. All right? Helping each other out. Number 7, be a student. Be a student. We fear what we don't understand. And again, this is for us and this is for people we're talking to. Okay? Help them to understand it. If we try to push people through too fast, Because we've seen it. When we see it, right? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. But they haven't seen it yet. It hasn't clicked for them yet. And so if they're not there and you're trying to push them through, then they're going to be fearful of it. They're going to be a little bit leery of it. So help them understand. But really, for anything in that fear of change, right? When you boil it down and you name it, and then you understand it, find a mentor, find a guru, find someone out there that can help you really understand it. Someone who's been there before. If you're doing this for your first time, for all those hands that went up and said, hey, I want to do it, but I don't know where to start. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure how to do it. What's the best way? So, well, this is the best way, right? Surround yourself with people who know how to do it. You guys are doing this because you're sitting here in this room right now and you're learning. But surround yourself. There's so much now. So many of our growth leaders have awesome podcasts and videos and everything else, okay? Study those. Go to the things. Go to the events. Learn, listen, take notes, ask questions. Find people that resonate with you, that are doing things that you think, hey, I could probably do that, right? And then go with those people. Go hang out with those people to learn. Number 8, be grateful and positive, right? It's hard to be scared when you're grateful. Because your focus can't be on the same things, right? You can't focus on those two different things at the same time. So if you're grateful, you're thinking about all the good stuff. We're not afraid of the good stuff, right? We take our focus away from the other stuff that we're worried about. So practice gratitude. If you don't do a gratitude journal, start doing it, okay? Get up every day and go through the day and think about all the things that you're grateful for. It's a great exercise for a family, a couple, some friends, anyone that's your an accountability partner. Okay? End of the day, what are you grateful for? Because if someone holds you accountable to thinking about what you were grateful for, there are times I get to the end of the day and it's not that I had a bad day, but it's like, hey, so what were you really grateful for today? And I can't think of anything. You know why? Because I wasn't looking for it throughout the entire day. I can't relive it. So you have to be looking for it while you're going through the day. So all day long, just the little check marks. I had another thing to be grateful for. That was awesome. Some days I'm just grateful I'm breathing and upright, right? So what are you grateful for? Keep that journal, but what's really awesome on the days when you get up and you're like, I can't find a freaking thing to be grateful for today. All right, today sucks. You saw my post about my airline fiascos and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't feeling super grateful at the moment, right? But when you can flip through your gratitude journal and go, man, my life is nothing but good. My life is nothing but good. Everything is good. And you're focused on it and you're tracking on it. But what they say, they say, what you focus on expands. If things always go, don't raise your hand for this. Things always go wrong for me, right? Everything goes wrong. It's just this, it's that. It's one thing after another. And we all have these times in our life. But the more we do that, the more we're looking at those things and the more we're focused on those things, the more things that go wrong we'll see. Every single day of your life, there will be a ton of things that go wrong and a ton of things that go right. What you see is dependent on what you focused on. Okay? Every day, I gotta tell you, there are a few days that stand out in either direction, but by and large, every day is the same. You have about the same number of good things and bad things happen to you all day. It just depends on where your head is to what you notice and what registers. So be grateful, be positive. Your attitude will shift and your fear will dissipate. Number 9, take action. Okay, I talked about deer in the headlights. Remember I talked about flat squirrels? Right? The road of change is paved with fearful flat squirrels who refuse to take action. Okay? So that inertia, you guys know the law of inertia, right? Body at rest tends to stay at rest. So that you got the boulder, you're trying to push it and it's not budging and you're trying to move it. That's the beginning, right? Anybody still trying to get to 5 FLQAs? It's all right, you can raise your hand, it's okay. Don't be embarrassed, don't be embarrassed, don't be embarrassed, okay? That's okay, that's inertia. It starts out slow, okay? It starts out slow. But you guys are gonna be chasing down Chuck and Angela soon, right? So, it starts slow, but what's the beauty of taking action? You take that first step, okay? And you start to move, and you start to push at it. And it's hard for a while. It's hard. It takes a lot of effort. Don't give up. It takes a lot of effort, but that inertia, the law of inertia that's working against you, one day you hit the tipping point. You hit that critical point where you feel that boulder that you've been pushing inch by inch. All of a sudden you feel like, man, I don't have to push quite as hard. And then one day you kind of like, I'm taking my hands off the boulder and it's still moving, right? All of a sudden, the law of inertia becomes your best friend because the other side of it is a body of motion tends to stay in motion, right? Once you get it moving, you've got inertia on your side. The effort doesn't have to be as great to get the results, and you get bigger results with less effort. And your effort gives you bigger results. Pushes and pushes, right? But it has to start with taking action. Has to start with taking action. I put on here, start small, start scared, start messy, but just start. The last one is celebrate wins. Celebrate wins. If you're like me, I'm like, oh, I got a big goal and a big whatever. We accomplish it, we knock it down. And then I'm like, all right, what's next? Right, on to the next one. I'm already thinking about it. I'm already mad because my next step I'm too far behind on. Okay, I'm already mad at myself because I don't, man, I should have had this one already done. Okay, stop and celebrate. It's amazing emotionally. We do things that make us feel good. We do things that make us feel good about ourselves. And if we don't reward ourselves emotionally and recognize how far we've come and what we're doing, if you're climbing up a huge mountain and you're two-thirds of the way there, but it's a huge mountain, that last third's still really big. And you're looking up ahead of you and going, oh my gosh, I have so far still to go. Stop and turn around once in a while. Enjoy the view. Enjoy how much you've accomplished. Okay? It will give you that energy to keep going through any other hard times up ahead of you. Have you guys heard, should be Heraclitus. Bugs me when I spell things wrong. You can't step in the same river twice, right? Things are always changing. You can't stop change. Everything's always changing. The saying is that you can't step in the same river twice. Anybody know the other half of that? Because it's not the same river and you're not the same person, right? The world is changing around you and you are changing. Change is always happening. So when we fear change, it's kind of silly because change is always happening. It's just the specific change that we're worried about. So when change comes, this is what I'm going to ask you guys. Do you see change or do you see opportunity? Right? Opportunity. More millionaires are made in a down market than an up market. Right? There is opportunity. Do agents tend to change companies when things are super hot? They're busy. They're selling houses. Like, I don't have time to talk to you. If I had $1 for every time an agent told me, I'll talk to you in the winter. I'll talk to you at the end of the year, right? I don't have time to come meet with you. Right? They're busy. They're selling houses. They're running around with their hair on fire. When things slow down, they've got some time. And they're starting to assess their opportunity. They're starting to assess where they are. And they're going to be people that have some needs. All right. So start with one. Find one opportunity that a shift in the market will create. What are you going to do to harness it? Okay, start with one. Just pick one. And then repeat. Strategize, mobilize, capitalize. You pick the one, pick your strategy, take action, get the success from it, pick the next one. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And then, a la EXP style, along the way, lift others up. Bring them with you on the journey. So we rise by lifting others. Are you guys ready to go take advantage of opportunity ahead? Woo! Guys, this time ahead of us will be one of our best growth times we've ever seen in the entire history of the company. Don't let it pass you by. Say, I'm glad I did, instead of I wish I had. All right, love you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the time.